Not easy doing tshuva, by the way. Now happens to be that we're now in the month of Elul, which is the month of where we have an easy bonus to do tshuva, and now we're going to go into the 10 days of tshuva, which is really tshuva on steroids. But I'm going to refer to something that happens on the period where we're in, but it's not limited to any day of the year. So it happens to be that tomorrow is Rosh Hashanah, Bezrat Hashem. And Rosh Hashanah, what a scary day. People think it's a day that you just dance and eat apple and honey. That's the day where you need to be trembling. That's the day we're being judged. It's Judgment Day. Much more severe than Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, there's no prosecution. The Satan is off the hook that day. He doesn't work that day. He has a vacation. Rosh Hashanah is a severe day. But nevertheless, as we go into Rosh Hashanah, we're also entering to the 10 days of Tshuva, Aseret Yemei Tshuva. And in those days, it's a very auspicious time to do Tshuva, to really focus on your behavior the last year, your entire life. And we're going to talk in later classes what you want to focus on in the 10 days of Tshuva, what you want to achieve on the 10 days of Tshuva. But most people don't know that when the 10 days of Tshuva pass, there's another set of 10 days. These days are called Yemei Bechina, the days of test. They are in one way more severe or more important than the 10 days of Tshuva. And why is that? Because in 10 days of Tshuva, you get your act together. And you suddenly call everybody and apologize and pay bills and you do Tshuva and I don't want to do this, I want to get rid of that. You really do Tshuva. You know? I'll give you a round of applause. But after the 10 days of Tshuva pass, you finish Yom Kippur, you jump on the buffet to stuff your mouth with all the food because you didn't eat for 25 hours. And then what? Now what happens? Now you go into a 10 days that you are being monitored. It's called Yemei Bechina. Now they're testing you. Let's see if you're going to do what you said 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, it says, that's it. From now on, I'm never missing a minyan. From now on, every shacharit is nets, not 7, nets. From now on, every day, 3 hours of Torah. From now on, never forgetting a bracha achona, a last blessing after I ate. Then two days pass. You forgot all your list. So on that day, they test you. That's from Yom Kippur till Shmini Atzeret. 10 days that you're under a magnifying glass. Let's see now if you're real. That's why later on in Rosh Hashanah, that's when it's sealed. Because in those 10 days, you either can go backwards or you go forward. Go backwards by saying, they look at you in the heavens and saying, hey, what do you think we bought what you said? Nothing that you said you did. A day later, you're already bent back to your sins. And that's what happens to most people. A day after Yom Kippur, it lasts for 24 hours and then you're back to square one. So they're testing you for 10 days. After the 10 days, then they decide. That's why on Rosh Hashanah, that's when you really seal the deal. Okay? Now, they want to see from Shamayim if you are standing in your, the promises. We're going to go soon after this class and what one should do on Rosh Hashanah, how to really prepare. But if it's not going to last, then what good is that? So this is one big condition in Tshuva. Not only for the 10 days of Tshuva, and not only for the 10 days after the 10 days of Tshuva, every given day, time, every day of the year, because we do Tshuva all year round. The fact that now happens to be that we're in Elul, good, but it doesn't mean that half a year down the line, this is not applicable. Now what happens is that many times you do Tshuva, and this is applicable to all of us, you do Tshuva, 3 days later you go back to the sin. And then you do it again, backwards and forth like a yo-yo. You don't sin for a week, you go back to the sin, you do Tshuva, then you put yourself on a diet for 3-4 weeks, then you sin again, and backwards and forth. Now you already get to a point that you're saying, well, what's the point? My tshuva is fake because I know I'm going to do it. I'm doing now tshuva. I know in 3 weeks I'm going to get tempted and I fail again. So when you do tshuva, we explained that in many times that the tshuva puts the sin on hold and now they're waiting to see how you behave. And that's not only for the 10 days of tshuva, it's every time you do tshuva, know that right away you're going to be put on some type of an observance. They're going to look from Shammai. I'm talking about the heavenly court. They're going to look. How long are you following what you said? You did it for 24 hours, or you did it for 3 months? You tried really? You struggled? You fought the temptation and your urge? Or you right away ran back to your sin? So a big part of the tshuva is that you have to stand for the words, what you're saying, and the promises. Now, if I have a severe situation, and I'm doing tshuva out of pressure, and the next day I lost it, then your tshuva really is not authentic. I'm sure you know the story about the person who had a big business deal. This would be the deal of the century. So what happens is the meeting was at 10 o'clock in the morning. He left at 7 o'clock because he knew it will take him time and traffic and finding parking. He arrived the destination an hour before the meeting. And he starts circling the block looking for parking. Another circle, another circle, another circle. Can't find parking. 9:15, 9:30, 9:40, starting to get uptight, doing bigger circles. And it comes 2 minutes before the meeting. He's like, if I'm going to lose this meeting, that's it. The deal of my century is going to blow up. He stops the car. He looks up to the heavens. He says, God, I know I'm not an observant individual. I know I lie and I cheat and I don't eat kosher and I desecrate Shabbat. And if you're going to find me now parking, and I'm going to get on time to this deal, I'm going to start eating kosher. I'm going to start putting tefillin on. I'm not going to drive on Shabbat. And as he's saying that, whoop, a car goes out. And he says, hold that thought, I found a parking. And runs into the parking spot. So, when you're under stress, somebody made a movie out of that. There's like this little movie of this running in the social media. When you're under stress or you're cornered, of course you do tshuva out of pressure. But then 2 days later, everything goes back to usual, then you go back to yourself. So just know that when you do tshuva, how do you know that the tshuva is real? It's because you're putting on a test. How long can you pull with the struggle? 2 days? 2 weeks? 2 months? How long? I mean, whether you're going to fail or not, it's inevitable. You will fail again down the line. Don't think you're some Superman. But the question is how long? Just know that you are constantly being looked to see if you're really authentic in your tshuva. Now, when you're for real and you're fighting and it's not 2 days, it's 3 months till you fail, then they see that you worked on yourself, and the longer you are able to hold, you're able to jump to the next level. So you have to be very authentic with your decisions. When you make a decision, you're saying, okay, I'm sticking to it. If you're able to pull 48 hours, there's no struggle there. Go with it for 3-4 months. Don't be, fall into despair that you failed after 3-4 months and you went back to square one. But you were able to pull it for a long time. From the heavens, they upgrade you because they saw that your decision was real. You were fighting it. You were put to the test. You were struggling. Eventually, you failed. But that's just the way how they get elevated to the next level. And the point what we want to take from that is that we're after the fact of the tshuva. Your tshuva is not going to be accepted right away. You're going to be put in some period of test. They want to see if you for real. So just know that after you do tshuva, there's also going to be a testing period from the world above to see how strong you are. And the longer you pull, then the better chances you have to go to the next level. And then of course you're going to be tested again with a completely different test. But nevertheless, at least you know that you went from one level to another level, and our point in tshuva is to grow and grow, and to finally, the end of our life is to reach the ultimate tshuva. But part of the tshuva is growing from step to step, and there's always going to be new tests and new struggles. But you make a decision. Now we're making decisions before Rosh Hashanah. Stick with it. Fight. Don't fall right away to the temptation. Don't right away say, okay, I tried for 3 days and it didn't work, and put a fight. And the stronger you fight, the longer you pull, the better your situation is, the higher you will climb.